G'day everybody, Simon here, Explosive Action. I'm back for the January Blu-ray and DVD update. Got a bit of a stack here to look at, so let's get into it. So the eagle-eyed amongst you will have noticed I didn't have one in December. I did have my best of physical releases for 2024 video at the start of this month. But yeah, December's always funny. There's not so much that lands in my inbox. There's a lot of sort of maybe some Black Friday stuff that shipped from overseas, but it hasn't landed yet. Christmas stuff starts getting a bit, I don't know, there's not many things to order, whatever. Then you got to kind of wait for the Christmas sales and then pick things up in the new year. And we've finally got enough to bother having a bit of an update about here. So we're going to get into it. I'm going to start with some DVDs, those old-fashioned things. I still like them. And the first one here we have is Webs, part of my Sci-Fi Channel original pictures collection. And this is one, of course, I already had, but I had the Australian DVD, which would have been fine, except for it was a grubby-looking X-rental. And this Region 1 on the proper Sci-Fi Essentials line, which I do like to get if I can. Just love the aesthetics of it, the purple thing. This era of Sci-Fi Channel is my era. That was sort of the early 2000s, like 2002 to like 2008 kind of stuff. That was so good. So yeah, picking up a Region 1 Sci-Fi Essentials locally was going to happen. I'll read a bit from the back. We're going to have to burn through these as quick as I possibly can. When a group of electrical workers are sent to investigate a bizarre power source in an abandoned Chicago building, they find a deserted laboratory. Inside, they suspect, is a defunct nuclear power core until it is accidentally activated, opening up a portal to a parallel universe. You hate it when that happens. Suddenly, they are trapped in a maddening mirror world where savage cannibalistic humans and spiders with appendages stalk and swarm. And that's peak early Sci-Fi Channel right there. Here, a dwindling band of survivors fight back with primitive weapons against a growing storm of spider people and their monstrous queen. These two groups must join forces to defeat the Queen and find their way through the portal and away from the terror. I mean, it's classic stuff. Image Entertainment did these Sci-Fi Channel Essentials. And there's, I don't know, probably a dozen of them or something. Some are incredibly hard to get, some I've got. But yeah, I recall this one being quite fun. So yeah, Webs, I've got a better edition. Happy with that. A Sci-Fi Channel I did not have. This just showed up locally and I was happy to pick it off. Mandrake. So we're like 2012 or something with this, 2010, getting a bit later. So I didn't have this one to show in my Sci-Fi Channel collection overview video from last year or the year before. Lost track these days. Adventurer Darren McCall and his team set on a mission through the jungle to retrieve a fabled, bejeweled dagger from an ancient burial ground. I mean, they always are. This group thinks they are in for a wealth of riches, but pulling the dagger from its rightful resting place unleashes a beast, as it always does. Half plant, half animal, the massive mandrake awakens thirsty for blood. Part plant, part animal, all bloodthirsty. I mean, this will be fun. I'm sure it'll be fun. It is, I mean, 2010, I said in that video, was sort of like my, not really my cutoff point, but I pay less attention after 2010. I pick up a few things here and there, but this was one that was missing from that era. And yeah, keen to check it out. Mandrake. And of course, from that seller, he had a bunch of other stuff. These are all $10 each. So I was like, okay, let's see what else you've got. And I picked up some crappers. I was very happy to get these. Yeah, I haven't seen any of them. Shrieker. It's a Full Moon production. Not one I've ever heard of, Shrieker, but here we are. If you hear it, it's too late. I guess, he shrieks and you're dead. But it strikes without warning. It can morph through walls, ceilings, and floors. There's no place to hide. Behind every corner lies a potential doorway to death. After 50 years, the Shrieker has been summoned again. 5 will die tonight. The 6th will become its master. When you hear the sound of its voice, your time has come. Yeah, we got Tanya Dempsey in this one. And directed by Victoria Sloan. I don't know what she has done. 1997 Full Moon Pictures. And yeah, I'd never heard of it. It's going to be, yeah, whatever. It's late 90s. I mean, sometimes these ones can be good fun. We will see. The back looks okay. I mean, the Shrieker looks just like any of his small puppet kind of things from that era, like anything Puppet Master just left over. We have a Shrieker maybe. We will see. This one, I can't remember if this one is a Full Moon. It's on Retro Media. Could be a Fredo and Ray. I actually didn't look it up, but it was cheap. And the cover made me think this looks like a Full Moon. Tiki. Killing Soon. Yeah, just bask in that cover, will you? A new original Terror creation. When Amy moves from her beloved Hawaiian Islands to study drama on the mainland, she has little to rejoice in. A gang of envious, vicious co-eds plot to make Amy's life a living hell. Bitches. With the aid of her boyfriends, or the aid of their boyfriends, I thought she was a bit of a hoe for a second, their boyfriends, the girls set Amy up as the target of a horrendous prank that results in the young girl falling victim to a brain seizure. A hell of a prank. One that she may never recover from. Seeking answers, her Aunt Malia arrives from the islands with a special tiki doll, one designed to kill. Through magic, she coaxes Amy's subconscious spirit to enter into the idol's body and bring it to hideous life. This sounds ridiculous. Amy lies helpless in a coma. The idol tracks the students down one by one and exacts its revenge. Can anyone stop Tiki? Sounds like Child's Play, but like with Patrick mixed into it. Beautiful. Tiki. Yep. I'm sure it's going to be a movie, Tiki. And the last one from this guy, and I ran this one past your friend of mine, Extra the Mutilator. He had not heard of it. He tends to know at least anything with the word zombie in it, but he'd not heard of this one. Living a Zombie Dream. Very low rent. When a young man discovers his brother horning in on his girlfriend, he exacts a sort of punishment common to siblings. He strands him in the wrong part of town. The prank turns deadly when the brother has a run-in with a deranged psychopath. The guilt-ridden cuckold, holy shit, they actually wrote that, vows revenge. Trouble is, the psycho rises from the grave and decides to exact his own vengeance on his killer. Yep, presented in full screen. Oh, who'd have thunk it? Yeah, this is, yeah. It's certainly going to be a film. 2006 TerrorVision. Probably not the TerrorVision that we know now from Blu-rays. Yep, Living a Zombie Dream. Starring no one you've ever heard of. Yep, you see. And this one, I picked up a few things from my local Salvation Army store, as I do, and I'm not going to bother showing them all. There's a lot of just sort of shelf fillers, but one stood out because it's unusual to see this kind of thing in a local Australian charity shop. This makes me ask questions. Hit Team, which is on an old Universe Laser DVD, which means it's from like 1999 or something. Probably maybe 2001 or something like that. But I'd never heard of this thing. The police forces established a special team, Hit Team, which comprised of 4 young and brilliant policemen. They are well trained in using the heavy armed equipment. Each possesses unique special skills. In a mission, Hit Team has to confront a robbery group that is organised by 3 previous excellent policemen. Bit of English in there, but this is directed by that's Dante Lamb story, and yeah, he directed as well, Dante Lamb. So yes, starring Daniel Wu and Alex Toe, but directed by Dante Lamb. Which, I mean, that's usually a good sign of approval. We will see. It is letterboxed and it is subtitled, which is why I like these Universe Lasers, and it's in its original case. So yeah, that's a strange thing to see in a local charity shop. It means probably somebody bought it from Chinatown like eons ago, because a lot of the other stuff that I picked up was Asian films. But yeah, nothing hugely I'm going to bother showing, but yeah, probably picked it up from the local Chinatown, I'd say. All right, into the Blu-rays now. Yes, everyone has talked about this, shown it. It's won awards. It's going to win more awards. The Substance. I went into this late, of course, because modern horror films, like, I can count on my hand the amount of 2024 films in general I watch, like one hand. And this is just a thing with me these days. I rarely bother with new films, new Hollywood films. I'll watch a bunch of crap DTV stuff, but new Hollywood stuff, get my ass to the cinema, or just like deal with 600 people telling me, oh, it's the best thing since sliced bread. I know it's a bit weird, but yeah, it can put me off. So this one was one of those where everyone's going, oh my god, it's the best thing since sliced bread. But JB Hi-Fi had their Christmas sale. A few people I know that I took seriously, their recommendation said, no, seriously, check it out. Picked it up cheap. Went home and I thought, oh, let's get out of the way. We'll watch it tonight. Yes, they were right. This is one of those scenarios where normies and horror fans can coexist, because this thing was excellent, in my opinion. Quite an interesting plot. In really, really good performances. And there's our two. There's our two. 2 is 1. as you will learn when you watch the plot. But plot, eh. Yeah, if for any other reason, yes. But no, this film, really, really good. There's the inside. I'll read a few from the back if you've not heard this one. You, only better in every way. You should try this new product. It's called The Substance. It changed my life. With The Substance, you can generate another you, younger, more beautiful, more perfect. You just have to share time. 1 week for one week for the other. Perfect balance is 7 days each. Easy, right? If you respect the balance. What could possibly go wrong? Anything more would just be giving shit away. But yes, we have our Demi Moore in this and winning awards for it. And what's her name? Margaret Qualley is the other actress in the film. And Dennis Quaid absolutely hamming the shit up. It is, I mean, his scenes, he only gets a few, but yeah, definitely worth checking out for his stuff. He's hilarious. But no, it's good. Everyone was right. You're right. Substance, great, good stuff. This one I picked up. I haven't seen, but I liked everything from these guys. This is a Steve Kostanski film, Frankie Frico, one of his latest ones. Having just inflicted upon some of my friends Psycho Gorman, and they all thought it was hilarious because I think it's hilarious. It made me go, oh, that's right, there's a new one out. So Frankie Frico, it's like he's got like Gremlins. It's full on like Puppet Master puppets in this thing. He's gone and done that. Is it a PG? Like, no, it's on Scream. I don't know, American stuff. You never write the rating on the back. I don't know what it's rated, but I get the feeling that it's like it could almost be a family film, but it probably can't. There's probably some gory shit in there. But yeah, anyway, workaholic yuppie Connor has a dilemma. No one in his life respects him. Not his boss, his co-workers, not even his wife Christina, who thinks he's an uptight square. Connor sees no way out of this existential rut until one night while channel surfing, he catches a bizarre ad for a party hotline hosted by a strange dancing goblin. Frankie Frico. Connor is entranced by Frankie's promises of wild and freaky adventures, just a phone call away. Could this be the recipe to spice up his flavorless life? And then I watched the trailer, and it looks ridiculous. I mean, it looks like a mid-'80s like TNA film, like party film or something, but with these weird puppets. You know it's all going to go to hell. Like, I don't know if it's going to turn into some splatterfest or not, but it's got Steve Kostanski involved, which, you know, that's your Astron 6 connection there. So we will see. It barely hits 83 minutes. I mean, that's what you want. That's what you want. Get in and out. Little slipcover, yeah, Shout Factory edition. And yeah, there's your disc. So looking forward to this one. I'll probably bump it up the queue. But yeah, I've liked everything he's done, and yeah, good stuff. Frankie Frico, I'm assuming it will be fun. This one from Kino, The Classic Ghosts, 1970s Gothic television. Kind of just went in this based on the title and the cover. I'm like, well, I like everything about that, so let's see how we go. Virtually unseen since their late night airings on ABC in 1973, Classic Ghosts is a series of 5 feature-length teleplays shot on videotape in the style of a daytime drama, beautifully preserved by the UCLA Film and Television Archive. Not only do these vividly coloured Gothic thrillers showcase an array of celebrated actors, but also notable for having been produced by a primarily female creative team, including producer Jacqueline Babin from Sybil, directors Leela Swit from Dark Shadows, and Gloria Monty from Sorority Kill. Yeah, so we get The Haunting of Rosalind, Screaming Skull, The Deadly Visitor, The House and the Brain, and The Bones Came Together, all from 1973. So back when it's just things that wouldn't happen anymore, you know? Putting together little gothic horrors to throw on midday TV. It's just, I don't know. Nostalgia. 2 discs, 2 Blu-rays. We got 2 on here and 3 on there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking these ones out. How long are they each? The whole lot is 329 minutes. I don't know. They're probably like an hour or something. We will see. Have to fit in for TV with ads, so probably like an hour, maybe 50 minutes. But yeah, Classic Ghost, 1970s Gothic television, restored and rediscovered. Number 18 on the Kino Cult line, if you're paying attention. I picked this one up, and this, oh man, This is the definition of being patient. This is the Looney Tunes Collector's Choice, volumes 1 through 4. So I've been watching these come out, like volume 1, 2, 3, for maybe about 2 years now. They're relatively quick. And I'm like, all right, I've got to get there. I've got to get there. Oh, just what do I start? They get more and more of them. I add them. I put 3 in the cart and go, oh man, it's start that up for some Looney Tunes. And then they announced number 4. Oh man, it's even getting worse. There's more of them to get now. And on the same day, they announced this multi-pack, which for like $5 more than just volume 4, you get all 4 volumes. So this time it paid to wait. Sure, you only get them in the one box, but care less. It's not like they're unrelated. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, and you get an absolute truckload of classic Looney Tunes, merry melodies. For die-hard fans of Warner Brothers Classic Animation Looney Tunes Collector's Choice, volumes 1 to 4, in one superb set. 4 discs will transport you through the golden era of Looney Tunes and merry melodies with 97 remastered cartoons. And yeah, I've watched the first one so far. They look amazing. The pics were really good. I'd seen, out of the first volume, I'd seen pretty good 3/4 of it. There was a handful of like non-Bugs Bunny or non-Daffy Duck ones that I wasn't familiar with. So I think the ones that they showed out here, when we had all this stuff shown in Australian TV, they were usually putting them in like a wraparound show, and they'd call it like the Bugs Bunny half hour or something like that. So they would generally keep it to the characters. So when there's the ones that were maybe a little bit left of center, they wouldn't. I don't remember seeing them. So it's cool to see all that stuff here. Yeah, all the great cartoon stars share the spotlight here. Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, Elmer Fudd, Roadrunner, Wile E. Coyote, Tweety and Sylvester, and many more, representing the work of legendary animation geniuses, including Chuck Jones, Fritz Freleng, Tex Avery, Bob Clampett, and Robert McKinson. The collection features exceptional rarities as well as fan favorites. Amazing compendium from the studio that created the funniest animated cartoons in film history. I was always a Looney Tunes, Bugs Bunny kid. Never a Disney cartoon kid. I couldn't give a shit about your Donald Duck. I was Daffy Duck, not Donald Duck. I was never Mickey Mouse. I really didn't enjoy those. And then we went into the 90s and everyone was going to see Lion Kings and all that kind of thing. I'm like, I want to see a film with talking teacups. I'm just not that interested. I was always about this. I just wanted to see Wile E. Coyote get smashed by the Roadrunner. Just that was me. This and Tom and Jerry, I was more into that. So anyway, yeah, Looney Tunes 1 through 4 collection. If you hadn't picked up any of them, this is the way to go. Get all 4 of them. 97 remastered cartoons. They look amazing. Next up, Vinegar Syndrome of Blood Tracks. Bit of an upgrade here. This one did have a DVD. Was it a German DVD, which I had in a hard box, which was only full screen. It was in English and that kind of thing. But I always liked it, and happy we now have a proper edition here, Vinegar Syndrome. That's the proper poster artwork, which is really nice. So, yeah, can't say no to that one either. Nice slip. Blood Tracks, a Swedish film. Heavy metal band Solid Gold. Geez, they're hilarious in it too. Heading up into the snowy mountains to shoot their latest music video, accompanied by their crew and a host of scantily clad dancers. However, it's not too long before a huge avalanche rocks the area, trapping the rockers and their glamorous entourage on the mountain. Group attempts to radio for help, unaware that these troubles have only just begun. Nearby, a feral, disfigured family has been hiding out in an abandoned factory for decades. It doesn't take long. Kindly to strangers, one by one, the members of the group wander off to explore the factory. Carnage begins as the crazed family resorts to every possible bloodthirsty measure in an attempt to protect its territory. Yeah, it's a pretty mental film, and it's made by Mats Helge, who did Ninja Mission and those outrageous action films. Have so much splatter in those things. This is a fun one. We have it nicely newly scanned in 4K from 35mm into negative. It is presented in scope. So my full screen DVD was cutting out a lot. And a whole bunch of features and things. I'm not going to go through all the features, I don't think, today, because we just have so many things to talk about. But there's a bunch of interviews and stuff on here and a commentary track. So there you go. Blood Tracks. Very, very nice. Now, Vinegar Syndrome slightly annoy me at the moment. I used to be able to. One of my buddies is a subscriber. I used to be able to tag on and I want that. Throw them in his cart. No, they've locked down now. Everything is one per customer, and there was really no exceptions. So now I've got to pay my own shipping, and it's annoying, and I've got to wait, and I have to order some stuff, and blah, blah, blah. First world problems. But anyway, Blood Tracks. Good. And the last one, another one, it's a VSA. We have Cat 3 Women on the Run. Upgrade from a Hong Kong DVD. I think that was like a Media Asia, maybe? I think it might have been a Media Asia. But yeah, little upgrade here. Run. Read from the back. A young woman named Yin dreams of leaving her modest village life for a chance to try and make it big as a martial arts movie star. Leaving for the big city with her boyfriend, life takes a turn for the poor when Yin finds herself addicted to drugs, being pimped out by her boyfriend. After a violent altercation forces Yin to flee to Hong Kong, it's not long before she ends up on the radar of the police. Without any other option, Yin makes a deal with the police to go undercover in one of their straight-laced female detectives, Hung, in order to try and bring down the notorious drug dealer named King Kong. Victimized by the men in their lives, the two unlikely friends must team up to protect each other from the criminals out to get them, work together to get revenge on those that have betrayed them. So, yeah, it's not. I don't remember if it was a girls with guns, but it's certainly a bit of a revenge kind of thing going on here. It has been a while since I watched that DVD. 1993, this came out, and it's in 185:1, and is of course in Cantonese mono soundtrack with new subs and an English and Mandarin dub track, so you got everything you want for this. Scanned in 2K from the 35mm OCN, so it's going to look great. And usual bunch of commentaries, a few featurettes, trailer. There's a booklet and a poster inside. So the Angels on the Run booklet and the folded poster. Very nice. And yeah, a nice one to recheck this out. I don't remember too much about it. So yeah, Women on the Run. So the next pile all has a theme, and that theme is Shudder. I quite like all the Shudder films that I've seen, pretty much. I don't have Shudder as a subscription service, but they released a few Blu-rays over the years, and I was picking them up and going, this is better than a lot of the usual independent horror Blu-ray. And over Christmas, there was a big sale at JB Hi-Fi, combining 30% off plus buy two get one free on selected things. I kind of went nuts and bought a whole bunch of the local release Shudder titles. And we're just going to go through them in reverse alphabetical order because I picked them right off the shelf as they were on my shelf. Violation, rated R. This one's, yes. High impact themes, violence, sexualized nudity, sexualized violence. But yes. With her marriage about to implode, Miriam returns to her hometown to seek solace in the comfort of her younger sister and brother-in-law. One evening, a tiny slip in judgment leads to a catastrophic betrayal, leaving Miriam shocked, reeling, and furious. Leaving her only recourse is to exact revenge. Miriam takes extreme action. The price of retribution is high, and she is not prepared for the toll it takes as she begins to emotionally and psychologically unravel. I have been told this one is quite good, and yes, it is going to get somewhat messy. But yep, pick this one up. Violation. Of the local titles, I don't think there's many I'm missing at this point. I pretty much got them all. Like, I was only getting the US titles. The local ones, I mean, it's great they were doing local releases. I've been coming out for a few years now, but I hadn't been picking them up. I was like, I'll get the US ones at some point, keep them consistent, but not at this sale. The sale was too good. Some new ones in here too that weren't on sale, on the double sale, but they were still 30% off. The Twin, there you go. This one is in the aftermath of a tragic accident where their son was killed. Rachel and Anthony decide to move to the other side of the world to focus on their surviving twin son, Elliot. What begins as a time of healing and isolation in the Scandinavian countryside turns to a desperate battle for the very soul of their son. When an entity claiming to be his dead brother takes over Elliot, Rachel is set on a diabolical journey to unravel the horrible truth about Elliot's twin. Yeah, it's pretty good. Had a decent write-up. I prioritized the ones that had decent letterbox reviews before any of the other ones, which was definitely this one. Tigers Are Not Afraid has really good write-ups. Haunting fairy tale set against the backdrop of Mexico's devastating drug wars. Tigers Are Not Afraid follows a group of orphan children armed with 3 magical wishes, running from the ghosts that haunt them and the cartel that murdered their parents. Filmmaker Issa Lopez creates a world that it recalls the early films of Guillermo del Toro, Imbued with her own gritty urban spin on magical realism to conjure a wholly unique experience audiences will soon not forget. And is a Spanish film and has Spanish and English audio options and subtitles. Yeah, so I have heard this one is quite good. So looking forward to Tigers Are Not Afraid. Next one is Superhost. Not the world's best cover on that one, but anyway. Teddy and Claire are vacation home travel vloggers who run a channel called Superhost, and until recently had become successful doing it. With a dwindling subscriber count, they must get more creative with their content. Cue Rebecca, the host of their most recent trip, who seems to have a few screws loose. As Teddy and Claire investigate Rebecca's past, they unlock a horrifying truth and discover she'll do whatever it takes to get a good review. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. It's gonna be one of those ones. Commentaries and what do we got here? Scaredy Cats episodes 1 and 2. I don't know what Scaredy Cats is, but some kind of extras on there. From the director of Z or Z, I really liked that one. I thought that one was really quite good. And of Stillborn, which I am not familiar with. Next up, we have Stop Motion. I watched this one last week, I think, and it was definitely an interesting one. Quite a trip, this. Ella Blake, a stop-motion animator, struggling to control her demons after the loss of her overbearing mother, embarks upon creating a film that becomes the battleground for her sanity as Ella's mind starts to fracture. The characters in her project take on a life of their own. So it's one of those ones where it's like, is this all in her head and we're seeing her hallucinations, or is other stuff actually going on here? And you like that all the way through. It's really, really well done, well shot. Yeah, really enjoyed this one. So, yeah, Stop Motion. Definitely check that one out. We have Sun with nobody that I recognize, but Sun. After a mysterious group of individuals break into Laura's home and attempt to abduct her 8-year-old son, David, the two of them flee the town in search of safety. Soon after the failed kidnapping, David becomes extremely ill, suffering from increasingly sporadic psychosis and convulsions. Following her maternal instincts to save him, Laura commits unspeakable acts to keep him alive. Soon she must decide how far she is willing to go to save her son. I mean, it sounds fairly standard, but again, the write-ups for this were quite good. Directed by Ivan Kavanagh. Name kind of rings a bell. But anyway, yep, Sun. Next up, this one looked a bit teeny, but again, it had decent reviews. It's got Suki Waterhouse in it, which is a name I do recognize. Seance. It does look like, The Craft or something, but Camille Meadows is the new girl at a prestigious Edelvin Academy for Girls. Soon after her arrival, 6 girls invite her to join them in a late-night ritual, calling forth the spirits of a dead former student who haunts their halls. But before morning, one of the girls is dead, leaving the others wondering what they may have awakened. I mean, that sounds completely standard, so it's all going to be down to the execution of this. It's a Dark Castle entertainment film as part of Shudder. I like a lot of their things. So, directed by Simon Barrett. There you go. Got some commentaries, behind-the-scenes things, and some visual effects things, reels. So there you go. Seance. This one's had great reviews. The Power. I think it might be one of the earlier titles that came out in Australia 2020. Yeah, maybe. Anyway, The Power. London, 1974. Britain prepares for electrical blackouts to sweep across the country. Trainee nurse Val arrives for her first day at the crumbling East London Royal Infirmary. Most of the patients and staff evacuated to another hospital. Val must work the night shift in an empty building. Within these walls lies a deadly secret, forcing Val to face her own traumatic past in order to confront the malevolent power that intends on destroying everything around her. Yeah, that one does sound pretty good. We've got directed by, the font's small. Corinna Faith? I don't know. Yeah, as I said, it had a good write-up on the old letterbox, so I jumped in with The Power. This one is one that came out just last year and has been getting all kinds of raves, not just Shudder, but it's been making top 10 horror films of the year list, so that got me very intrigued. Oddity. I think Mr. Parker reviewed this one as well. When Danny, played by Carolyn Bracken, is brutally murdered at the remote country house that she and her husband Ted Gwilym Willem Lee are renovating. Everyone suspects a patient from the local mental health institution where Ted is a doctor. A year later, Danny's blind sister Darcy, a self-proclaimed psychic and collector of cursed items, pays an unexpected visit to Ted and his new girlfriend. Convinced there was more to her sister's murder than people know, Darcy has brought with her the most dangerous item from her cursed collection to help exact revenge. Anything could happen in this film based on that. Directed by Damien McCarthy. Yeah, we will see what Oddity is like, but I have heard very good things. This one looked hilarious. It's got Barbara Crampton in it, so Jacob's wife. Look at Barbara. Look at Babs. Yeah, and Larry Fessenden and Bonnie Aarons, but yeah, Babs. Picture. Amazing. Anne is married to a small-town minister and feels like her life and marriage have been shrinking over the past 30 years. After a chance encounter with the Master, she discovers bite marks on her neck, a new sense of power, and an appetite to live bigger and bolder than ever. Anne is increasingly torn between enticing new existence and her life before. The body count grows. Jacob realizes he will have to fight for the wife that he took for granted. I mean, if there's no comedy in this, I'll be completely surprised. I mean, look at the photos on the back. Surely I'm going to get a giggle out of this one. Directed by Travis Stevens. And yeah, Barbara Crampton. Jacob's wife. Certified fresh, apparently. Now, everyone's been banging on about this one as being incredibly gory slasher. And a percentage of people have also said, but there's no plot. I'll see it myself. In a Violent Nature. Good cover. I like that. Gnarliest kills I've ever seen. When a locket is removed from a collapsed fire tower in the woods that entombs the rotting corpse of Johnny, a vengeful spirit spurred on by a horrific 60-year-old crime, his body is resurrected and becomes hell-bent on retrieving it. Basic slasher plot. Just don't be boring. That's all I ask is don't be boring and give me some splatter. So, yeah, we will see. In a Violent Nature, got a proper R rating. High impact horror violence, blood and gore. So yeah, I mean, hopefully it's prosthetics and you know, actual effects and not just CG splatter. But we will see in a Violent Nature in all good time. Now we have Caveat, which was film done by Damien McCarthy before Oddity. I've heard there's a connection in there. Might be a loose relationship between them, but they could stand alone. I don't really know. Caveat. In desperate need of money, Isaac accepts a job looking after his landlord's niece, Olga, for a few days, but there's a catch. He must wear a leather harness and chain that restricts his movements to certain rooms in order to protect Olga's extremely frail mental state. Once left alone with Isaac, Olga exhibits erratic behavior while Isaac makes horrific discoveries in the house that trigger a deeply buried traumatic memory. Oof. Well, let's see how traumatic that memory is. Caveat. A caveat in there somewhere. You've been warned. And lastly from this stack is, and this one's been out for a bit, I think. When did this come out? 2020. Film came out in 2018. So I think this is one of the earlier ones that came out in Australia. Beelzebuz. With Joaquin Cosio and Tobin Bell. We all like Tobin Bell. From Saw. I always liked him in Stargate. He was in Stargate SG-1 in the first season. Had a blink and you'll miss it episode. But anyway, Special Agent Emmanuel Ritter leads a police investigation into a series of shocking deaths. After a priest from the Vatican finds a link between the murders and an ancient demon, a descent into horror ensues. Starring Tobin Bell from the Saw franchise and Joaquin Cosino from The Strain, Beelzebub is a dark, terrifying new tale of demonic possession. Directed by Emilio Portes. It's in English and Spanish, so I'm not too sure. I mean, Tobin Bell is not Spanish, so I don't know what's the default language. But we will see. There's a lot of Spanish names on the back here. Beelzebub. We will check this one out, and that's my pile of shutters. We have a good collection of box sets here. We're going to blast through all various shapes and sizes. The first one is a nice upgrade from, was it a Ronin Flicks or a Scorpion Blu-ray, which I learnt before I picked up this box set. Originally I was going to get this. I'm like, I've already got these films. I learnt that Blu-ray was cut. I hadn't got around to watching it yet, and it turned out to be like the shorter Miramax version or whatever, one of those kind of deals. We're talking about The Legend of Fong Sai-yuk, collection here of 2 films, out by 88 Films did this one. And yes, these are the proper full-length ones, as I've been told. Nice set. We get our booklet. yeah, it's photos and write-ups, and the two. There's a poster in there, and then we get two films on these sort of like cardboard digipack things. Indicator does this a bit. They do these ones in the box sets. I don't mind them too much. In a box set anyway, I would like them like off the shelf like that. That's the original poster artwork there, which is good. Part 2. The Hong Kong DVDs had those artworks, I believe. And I don't have the write-up. I think I had a little sleeve thing, and those I tend to pack away unless I put it in here. But no! Oh dear. Yeah, a little sleeve thing I must have put into my box of sleeves. It means I can't tell you too much about them, except these are some pretty good Jet Li films. And it's been a long time. I never watched the other Blu-ray that I had, but I watched the first film, Fong Sayok, on an old Hong Kong DVD, which had that cover artwork. Yeah, Corey Yuen films, and yeah, with Jet Li, and yeah, you get all the action aplenty that you would like. There you go. See what years these came out? Are these like late 80s? I think 1993, so they're actually quite late. But yeah, I'm happy to have this improved edition. I will go so far and say that this is probably as definitive as I'm going to give a shit about. Nice box. Fong Sayok Collection, Parts 1 and 2, aka The Legend. That's the proper title. And yep, next up we have the Vampire set from Indicator. We have El Vampiro, Two Blood-Sucking Tales from Mexico. I've watched the first film so far, and yeah, as you see, that was an 88 box, and this is an Indicator box, and we have those cardboard sleeves again. But we start off with a pretty thick book. These are late 50s Mexican vampire films. They pre-Hammer, so that's what's really interesting about these. So you're not... the only reference point I guess they've got is folklore and the Universal film. Yeah, there's the original one, El Vampiro, and this one, what are we calling this one? The Vampire's Coffin, second film. And yeah, just nice little presentations in these digis. As I said, I quite like the digis when they're in a box set. I think they're neat. But I can read from the back of this one. Because Indicator printed on for me, which is good. Except for they only include the contents of the, like, what the remastered editions are. But I think I gave you the short version, 1957, 1958, two film, first short, 80 minutes-ish, 85 minutes-ish, from director Fernando Mendez. You do get a truckload of features, though. 4K restoration from the 35mm camera negative of the Vampire, a 2K scan of Vampire's Coffin from a different production house, so slightly different sources there. Spanish mono audio tracks, alternative English mono audio track. I actually watched the first one with the English dub just because I was feeling incredibly lazy. And it was kind of a fun dub. It wasn't ridiculous or anything like that. Commentaries are plenty, a bunch of features in here, a bunch of trailers. This is apparently limited to 8,000 sets. And, I mean, it's such a golden age. One, that we're getting some pretty obscure stuff, again. But two, that we're starting to push these things up. I mean, that's getting back to those days of, like, you know, the old Anchor Bay tins, limited to 15,000 copies. We're getting there again. Like, Vinegar Syndrome's pushing the boat out a lot, and now like 8,000 copies for a couple of black and white Spanish vampire films. So that's great. Yeah, happy to have them. I haven't checked the second one out yet. I will do so. Yeah, good fun. At least the first one was. We'll see what the second one's like. El Vampiro. We have another set here, the Cruel Britannia, which is 3 films, British horror films. Craze, Penny Gold, and Crucible of Terror. I think they're all kind of loosely... I don't think there's any real relation from memory. I don't think there was any like same director or anything. Booklet. Go through all 3 films. Essays, photos, usual good stuff. Very nice. This one's a Vinegar Syndrome, even though it feels like it should be a Eureka box. Cruel Britannia. Boink. Disc on there. I'll read from the back of this one. Crucible of Terror. Oh, we've got the prologue at the start here. British cinema has long cemented its legacy in producing creative thrillers, often infusing macabre twists with a very sense of cynical humour, very British humour. The early 70s, the British film industry has become more daring in subject matter while still relying on the consummate technical professionalism that helped establish it as a leading force of the medium. Presented here are a trio of rarely seen murder thrillers and mysteries showcase these types of independent, transgressive works coming out of Britain, first half of the decade. We have Crucible of Terror from 71, showcasing the beautiful yet underfilmed region of Cornwall. Giallo-esque Crucible of Terror by director Ted Hooker finds a group of hippie-ish youths staying at a seaside home of a reclusive and mysterious sculptor. The holiday fun is short-lived as they begin falling prey to a vicious mystery killer determined to protect a deadly secret hidden in the cliffside caverns. Penny Gold, a young woman is slain by a trench coat wearing and razor wielding killer. No shortage of suspects, including her twin sister, boyfriend, and plentiful shady acquaintances. As the mystery unfolds and more people vanish or are murdered, a detective begins to suspect the crimes might be connected to a prized stamp. A slow burn hybrid of murder, mystery, and crime caper, directed by acclaimed cinematographer Jack Cardiff. Penny Gold 73 offers twist after twist, leading to a murder-fueled final act to leave you guessing. Craze, then 74. By day, Neil Mottram operates an unassuming antique shop, while at night, he is the high priest of a small cult of worshipping the idol Chuku. After accidentally killing one of his fellow worshippers, Neil offers Chuku her body as a sacrifice, shortly after which he finds himself bestowed with good fortune. Believing the idol is responsible for his luck, Neil finds more sacrificial victims, as one would. Anchored by the memorably unhinged starring performance by Jack Palance, director Freddie Francis, the blending of occult horror and police thriller Craze remains an overlooked gem in the oeuvre of famed producer Herman Cohen. So yeah, that one sounds particularly like the most interesting one by its description there. You a cult worshipping Chuku. I mean, you sold me there. Commentary track. You got Kim Newman on it, Stephen Jones. I think, yep, Kim Newman's on all three, and David Decotto and his historian. And historian David Duval for Craze. David Decotto commentary. And a few featurettes and some other bits and bobs. So yeah, 2-disc set. There you go. And as usual, the trifecta of needless vinegar syndromeness. You get the disc to put in a slip, and you get the slip to put in a box because reasons. But hey, collect the scum and all that. Nice. 3 Tales from the UK. I mean, there's almost no point me showing this one by now. The Keep, it's long sold out. You can't buy it. And there's one coming from Imprint locally soon, which has the original cover artwork. But this is the Keep. I mean, what else do I need to really say about the Keep? I actually genuinely quite like it, even though it's, incomplete. But I thought the positives outweighed the negatives. I thought it looked great. It felt great. Sure, it sometimes doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't think too much of this custom artwork. I would have preferred they just used the poster, which, is there. So there you go. But Keep, Nazi-occupied Romania, 1941. A small, gloomy village hidden beneath, deep in the mountains, German troops have arrived to lay siege. Warned by townspeople to stay out of a mysterious and ornately carved structure known only as the Keep, 2 arrogant soldiers ignore their orders and break into the obelisk, hoping to find stowed treasure. Instead, unleash an ancient evil force with each new victim grows stronger and more powerful. After suffering large casualties at its hands, Captain Klaus Verman is informed that he is the only person who might be capable of dealing with the monstrous demonic entity, is an elderly Jewish historian named Dr. Theodor Kuza, who is being held captive with his daughter in a concentration camp. So yeah, all ugly plots aside, this is a really nice looking film from Michael Mann. I know there's entire books, I think, written about how much he's not happy with the film. Everyone was saying for years we were never going to get a release. We finally got a legit DVD a couple of years ago by Viavision. And somehow Vinegar Syndrome's managed to get the negatives and do a 4K as well as Blu-ray. It's not the famed lost uncut. That's not going to happen, but it's a 96-minute feature version. Has all your HDR nonsense that people like, and yeah, commentaries, and what else? We've got interviews, visual effects producer interview, Evil Most Ancient, another interview. Yeah, mainly interviews on here. A whole feature would be really good. Is there a feature or anything like that? This thing needs like a 2-hour long what happened kind of thing. But you know, just be lucky we get what we get. So there you go. The Keep. We finally have one of those deals, right? You wait years and years for the bus, and then two come along at once. That's what's happened. This one's sold out quicker than people thought. Like, we knew it was going to sell out, but it was gone in, was it a day? Maybe a day, maybe two, but it went incredibly quick. The Keep. If you missed it, get the Vision. I'm sure it's going to be just as good. I showed this in my top ones of the year, but Trick or Treat. Also, this sold out, but you can now pre-order the standard edition, and they sped that one up to come out in, I think it's March. A bit earlier than they were expecting, but yeah, one of the 80s slashes we've been all kind of waiting for. One of the rock and roll metal slashes. There you go, with the pumpkin on the back. Has had a German Blu-ray under the title Ragman, but yeah, we've gone back to nice remastered source here, poster, book, and the disc set here, which is actually quite a fat case. That's the artwork I like. I mean, I would have been happy with just that, to be honest, but you had to get the whole thing. Oh, there. That's gotten a bit cramped in there. That's annoying. We have, yep, UHD, the Blu-ray. We have a Synapse film catalog, which got a little bit cramped in the case there. We get a bunch of lobby cards, very nice, and the soundtrack CD, which looks like a record, so very cool. I also like the reverse art. Both of them are cool. That's that one. The CBS Fox VHS that came out in Australia looks like that. I might flip it for now. It's cool. And yeah, there you go. I'll leave it like that. Honestly, that would have been fine. I know, like, there was a little, I was like, you know, there's a little bit of FOMO in this, because this sold out while we were sleeping in Australia. They announced it, and then we woke up in the morning and the damn lot was gone. You still get them direct, but they don't ship direct. All the Diabolic copies were gone. It's just gone. So let's go in there, reassemble this bloody thing. But yeah, I did get lucky and had a way of obtaining a copy, not through eBay, but a way. So I was happy. Rock and Roll Will Never Die, in this 1980s cult favorite that stars Mark Price from Family Ties as Eddie Weinbauer, a teenage outcast who idolizes Sammy Kerr, Tony Fields, a heavy metal superstar. After Sammy dies a violent death, his spirit returns to help Eddie get even with his high school tormentors. In doing so, Sammy begins to gain control over Eddie's life, bring him deeper into the world of the occult. Eddie realizes he has become the tool of Sammy's vengeance. He attempts to stop him, and the horrifying events that follow leave no one unscathed. So you got Gene Simmons and Ozzy Osbourne famously in this thing. The Australian DVD cover was woeful. It just had like portraits of those two, and that was it. It was shockingly awful. And it's the directorial debut of veteran actor Charles Martin Smith from Never Cry Wolf and Starman. And a legendary soundtrack by Fastway. Yeah, a lot of people buy the vinyl LP of Fastway that came out way back then. Red Shirt Home Video and Synapse Films. I'd never heard of Red Shirt Home Video, but supposedly they did like all of the work for this, and Synapse is sort of more like a distributor. I believe that's how it worked out. But yeah, 3 discs, as I said, 4K Blu-ray and the CD soundtrack. There is a whole bunch of features in here. The whole thing was 4K restoration from the 35mm OCM. And then there's the HDR stuff for those that need it. Commentaries, audio conversation. We have there's a lot of stuff in here. Yeah, in the Spotlight, a tribute to Tony Fields. More interviews. Horror's Hallowed Grounds, the filming locations of Trick or Treat with Sean Clark. Music videos, the trailers, TV spot. It's just full of 1986. Bit of a genre classic, Trick or Treat. And we finally have the edition we've been kind of all waiting for a damn long time now. So, yep, there we go. Try and get a little back into the box. And as a glove, trick or treat. Very nice from Synapse. Next up, another one we've been waiting a million years for, Dawn of the Mummy. Bit of an Italian classic here. Frank Agrama? Yeah, Agrama. Frank Agrama. This had a DVD by Anchor Bay in the days gone past, which I never managed to get, and then started to trade for a lot of money in the later years. But we now have a nice new shiny Blu-ray. This is through Treasure, isn't it? Yeah, Treasure Films. We get the book. We get some lobby cards. I think this is still available, so go and nab it up while you can. Book or stuff about the film. Haven't checked this out yet. I watched it on the old VHS eons ago, but I've not checked out this release, and I never had a DVD, so I'm really excited to recheck it out. There's the disc, and you get reverse cover, which I don't know. I don't know what VHS that came from, but quite fun. But I shall not use that. I shall use the artwork I am familiar with. Go. Reading from the back. They came from the dead, a monstrous, chilling terror stalking the living. 4 beautiful models travel to the remote village on the edge of Sahara to shoot a fashion photo layout for a top magazine. Here they stumble upon a soldier of fortune who has violated the last tomb of the murderous pharaoh. Saphira Man. The photographer decides to shoot the layout and the mysterious splendors of the tomb. Unknown to them, they are activating an ancient and unstoppable curse to rise and kill. The ghastly remains of Sarifaman and his army of the living dead wreak unspeakable vengeance on the intruders and the local people. While the original negative is still considered lost in an unknown sarcophagus, Treasure Films is proud to present his former Section 3 video nasty, scanned in 2K from surviving 35mm prints. 2 surviving prints. Restored to the best possible condition, fully uncut, making a UK Blu-ray debut. Making a worldwide Blu-ray debut, I think. Or was there a German one or something? I can't remember, but doesn't matter. Until such time that a negative shows up, I think they're going to have done a fantastic job assembling 2 prints and making all the enhancements they could. They're from a Spanish and a German print, if you're wondering there. Optional English subs, audio commentary from the director, which is good. Commentary from Kim Newman. Lighting the Mummy, new interview, cinematographer. Healing the Bandages, new video essay by Stephen Thrower on the history of mummy cinema. That will be good. Back in the Suture, video essay on mummy movies in the 80s by Daryl Buxton. That will also be very interesting. Unwrapping the Mummy, new video essay by Frank Agrama by Eugenio Ocolani. There you go. Trailer, reversible sleeve, and all that kind of thing. So yeah, there you go. It's in English language, but yeah, Italian film. So awesome. Happy to have that. Really going to be checking that one out soon. Jog my memory of this one. And yeah, good stuff coming out from Treasured Films. They're very get in there. They are limited releases. They did what was the one I got? Damn it, name escapes me. Last Hunter. They did Last Hunter, which was a really, really good edition. And yeah, Dawn of the Mummy. Happy with that. And the last one I'm going to take a look at here is the first one for me to pick up from the Imprint Asia line. This is still coming out by 88 Films. It was delayed, and I guess due to that delay, well, Imprint managed to keep theirs, the Erotic Ghost Story Trilogy, and one of their standard Imprint style box sets, which I actually got on the day it came out because it was looking like it was going to sell pretty quickly. It's still available, but it is selling pretty fast. So yeah, this is obviously a rude series of films, but they are particularly interesting for Australians because these were shown ad nauseum on SBS, what is it, Special Broadcaster, I think is what the S stands for. They used to show these late at night, There was always this joke. SBS stood for Sex Before Soccer because the films would be on at 9:30, and then the soccer would be on after that. And they used to show all kinds of weird stuff, and lots of Italian horrors and Asian erotic things like this. And so when these came out, a lot of Australia, I mean, Imprint Asia know what they're selling to. They're selling to not just film fans of this stuff, but also for nostalgic SBS fans that were watching this in the mid '90s, late night, when they probably shouldn't have been. A bunch of 10-year-olds watching this shit. We did, but these directed by Nam Chi Choi and starring, of course, Amy Yip. Did he direct all three of these things? No, Peter Nyor was the second one, and Lai Kai Ming does the third. I think there is a fourth. I think there's a fourth. It might be like even less connected. It came later. I'll read a little bit from the card they put on the back here. Cult favorite trilogy of surreal, sensual, and supernatural Category 3 films come to Blu-ray in a limited edition 3-disc card box. Erotic Ghost Story 1990 comes with a audio commentary by cult film critic Jan Jane. Mandarin language version as an alternative. From Erotic to Extreme, Costume Drama meets Category 3, interview with film historian Paul Fornoff. Image Gallery trailer, and then we have Part 2. Audio commentary by filmmaker Callum Waddle. Jeez, I didn't think he was doing stuff anymore. And Andrew Fleming. Alternative Mandarin language version. Demon of Lust Strikes Back, interview with art director Raymond Lee and assistant art director Cyrus Ho. Love and Lust interview with writer-producer Casey Chan. And then Part 3, audio commentary with Callum Waddle again, and Hong Kong film enthusiast Andrew Fleming. Alternative Mandarin language version on that as well. And Return of the Art Director interview with assistant art director Cyrus Ho. And then Category 3, The Untold Story of Hong Kong Exploitation Cinema documentary. So that we had on another, I think on one of the 88 Films releases, maybe an Arrow release. Also had that. That's the Callum Waddle documentary on Cat 3. Not too bad. Cantonese Carnage interview with Rick Baker. So, yeah, there you go. All three films in the Erotic Ghost Story trilogy. Just about show that, but yeah, some classic stuff in this. Classic stuff for all of those burgeoning young minds of the 90s that should have gone to bed already. And thank you to Imprint for getting in there. I expect our 88s coming out really, really soon now. I did look on their website, and I think they're very similar. Maybe they've got an extra that's different or something, but I think the core films and audio tracks were the same. So there you go, the Erotic Ghost Story trilogy on the Imprint Asia line. Keep an eye out on this line. They've got some wild stuff coming out soon. They're getting into the Shaw Brothers, so keep an eye out on those. And that's it. That is the DVD and Blu-ray update for January 2025. Been time coming. Hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, please like and subscribe. You will have noticed that I've turned on channel membership. Feel free to sling me 99 cents a month if you feel like it. It's just there for the hell of it. Don't know what extra stuff I'm going to be doing with it, but hey, you never know. But otherwise, enjoy and see you next time.